It's time for the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games at Southern Utah University in Cedar City. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of a Utah sports tradition at utahsummergames.org. Participate in over 50 sports around the state. Then plan to join the opening ceremonies Friday, June 5th, presented by State Bank of Southern Utah. Register today to participate in the 40th anniversary season of the Larry H. Miller Utah Summer Games.
DJ PK, it is time to welcome back one of our favorite guests. Barry Tramel joins us, sports columnist for the Tulsa World. Barry, good morning.
How's things in Salt Lake?
Good. You're turning into an international star, Barry. PK's coming in telling me I'm hearing Barry Tramel on other shows now.
Yeah, I heard him on the NBA satellite station where he used the example of Victor Wembanyama being able to cover the distance from the Oklahoma City airport to the Brickyard Canal. How visual was that, Mr. Tramel?
Well, yeah, he's something else, man. I guess if I was in Utah, I think he could cover what from the Salt Lake to Provo is about how far his wingspan is. It seems like I don't know how you get a shot.
Go
off
from the Great Salt Lake to Mount Olympus.
Well, there you go. How far is it Salt Lake to Sundance? Is that about 30 miles probably?
Probably close to 45, 50.
Well, okay.
It's not bad.
Just up to Provo Canyon.
I think for a visual, you'd have it from the Wasatch Mountain to the Oakers, because then you could just have him.
East to west?
See, east to west. You just put him right in the middle of the valley with the wingspan out to each mountain range. See, there you go.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
I do think that it's not death by 1,000 paper cuts, but it is he's getting worn down by playing against a bigger player in Hartenstein and Holmgren, and I think they've given up on trying to pull him all the way out into the corner and have him someone shoot a corner three, but they're pulling him up above the top of the key now, and even he can't cover everything. I thought in Game 5, the Thunder were able to drive to the hoop quite a bit. They were moving him around the floor, and it seemed to be working for him.
Yeah, when you play somebody like that, it's so foreign. There's nobody on earth like him. Their availability with him has been minimal. They've played a handful of games, and you just learn so much in a playoff series. And they've still been good. I mean, the Spurs have done an unbelievable job on Gilgeous-Alexander and really minimized his efficiency. But even Shea is figuring out some angles and stuff, not necessarily to shoot over him, but to get some passes in. He threw Wembanyama came out on him last night, and he threw a bounce pass to Hartenstein, and it was sort of the angle I was right behind on the pass. And when he threw that pass, I thought, he's got no chance of getting that pass past him. But he did, and it's a nice little bounce pass, and Hartenstein had an easy basket. So things are getting a little easier for the Thunder, but that's all relative because San Antonio makes everything so hard on everybody. Listen, I don't know who anybody wants to win this series, but the Spurs are going to win a bunch in the future. So, get ready for a steady diet of springs with the San Antonio Spurs involved in the NBA.
I've been impressed the whole series with Alex Caruso. We remember him coming up with the Lakers, and I think he moved over to Chicago, and they make that trade with Giddey, where he's now with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And to me, he is like that fly in your face that just won't go away, and he keeps landing on your nose or getting near your ear. He's just a pest. How would you describe his game, and are you as impressed? You see them a lot more than we do by how he's been this whole playoff series.
Well, what you see is what you get with Caruso. The difference is the Thunder does an unbelievable job of keeping Miles off the tires in the regular season. They'll sit him all the time. They might not play him a minute in Milwaukee on a Tuesday night, even if the game's tight and all those things, because they just say, we're going to preserve Alex Caruso. The way he plays, well, heck, you saw it last night. He banged his head on the floor and turned his ankle all on the same play.
Yeah.
He gets hurt like that all the time. And they just really try to preserve the guy and then unleash him in the playoffs he was moderately needed against the Lakers and moderately needed against the Suns. But, they need him. Heck, he might be their most valuable player in this series. And he can guard anybody on the court. He's not a very good career three-point shooter until the playoffs. And now he's got the most 3-pointers in a conference final since Luka in 24. Just out of the blue, that kind of stuff happens. So yeah, I remember when they traded Josh Giddey to get him. The rumbling around the NBA was, are the Bulls crazy? They could have got 2 first-round draft picks in that deal along with Josh Giddey if they'd have demanded it. And when you see Caruso play like this, you realize that's true. Sam Presti knew what he was getting, and he would load it up the truck to bring in an Alex Caruso to this team.
I hold the Thunder in very high regard, but I do think sometimes they play with their food. Guys, just eat. But no, they got to push it around the plate. They have a 20-point lead. It goes down to 8. Yeah. Just blow them out. They were up 3-2 last year against Denver and against Indiana, and they dropped Game 6. Don't let it come down to one game, and anything can happen. Now they won Game 7, so what does it matter? They got the trophy anyway. Do you feel like they're going to play with their food in Game 6 and then beat the Spurs in Game 7?
Well, I don't know that they can. It's awfully tough to beat the Spurs in San Antonio. So they could not play with their food and still lose. But I do think they are wearing down Wembanyama. He's getting tired. There were times last night where I didn't know if he was in the game or not. All of a sudden, watching the game, you think, wait, is Victor out there? And then you sort of look for him, and there he is. And you forgot he was in the game. So they really minimized his impact, which is phenomenal because he's such a high-impact guy everywhere he goes. But I think he's getting tired, shot a lot of threes, didn't post up a lot. 2 straight games, they've really or really 3, they've really minimized his offensive rebounds. That's where he kills you. I mean, he plays Moses Malone basketball sometimes. He literally twice this series has just tossed the ball off the backboard so he can rebound it and dunk it. So when he's getting tired, big advantage OKC. So that's the key to me is, will Victor return? Because the Spurs, they're fun and they're young and they're tenacious. They're not great on offense other than Victor. Castle's not a great shooter. He's a big force, but he's not a great shooter. Vassell and Johnson go up and down. Fox is limited with the injury. So they need Wembanyama to score. Now, his defense is all universe. Best defender in the history of the NBA is probably what he's going to be. But they need him to score, and he was not much of an offensive force last night.
What's going on with Jalen Williams, man? He's just had injuries the whole season.
Yeah, it's been a bad year. Just hamstring, missed the first part of the year with the wrist that bothered him in the NBA Finals, had surgery, finally gets to play, has the hamstring. Now he's tweaked it 3 times. I actually think we might still see him in this series, maybe Game 6. I don't know. There was some talk that they might try to run him last night. They ended up not doing it. Thunder's shorthanded with A.J. Mitchell out, with Jalen Williams out. SGA is about the only ball handler you really want to trust left. So, he's a fighter. He wants to play, I'm sure, and they would love him to play, but they're a very cautious organization. So, I don't know if we'll see him, but it sure would alleviate a lot of stress off SGA. And the thing about Williams is he's, this would be the 3rd time he's come back from the hamstring this season. And when he comes back, he hits the ground running. He looks 100%. He's jumping and springing and going all kinds of things. So when he comes back, I think he'll be really good. But it's just whether the Thunder wants to pull the trigger on letting him try it.
What do people in Oklahoma City think of the Knicks, and what do they think of a potential final? Or are they completely obsessed with the Spurs in the Western Conference Final, and no one is considering that yet?
Not too much talk about it yet. Some people are fired up about, and I think this would be true of almost any Western Conference team. An NBA Finals against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden would be really cool. The Pacers, that great. I love Indianapolis. They got one of the best arenas in the history of mankind, all that kind of stuff. But to go play the Knicks, New York's team, right? The favorite team of New Yorkers, any sport, trumping the Yankees, trumping the Giants, the Jets, all that kind of stuff. In Madison Square Garden, home of Willis Reed, Game 7, home of Ali Frazier, Fight 1, all the mystique, all the majesty, all the celebrities, just the electricity around New York. It'd be a phenomenal experience for Oklahoma. This would be the coolest thing on Broadway since Rodgers and Hammerstein. It would be a really cool thing. And that same holds true for San Antonio. If it was Utah, Portland, Sacramento, doesn't matter, whoever. Anybody but the Lakers would probably say, hey, this is really cool. So I think that will be quite the event when it happens. And New York's a buzz about that team. They ought to be. I mean, they're on a historic run. They're very difficult to guard. They've got some defense. So I think it'll be a good competitive finals. It would be a pretty monumental thing for the state of Oklahoma to participate in, I think.
All right, Tramel. I know about Aaron Rodgers, but who's this Hammerstein kid?
Rodgers and Hammerstein. They wrote Oklahoma.
Oh, with Shirley Jones?
Shirley Jones and who's the old boy that played Curly? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, Rodgers and Hammerstein. They did South Pacific, and they did. They're famous. They're like the Andrew Lloyd Webber of the '50s. So, they're heroes. I guess they're both dead.
Well, aren't you cultured?
Yeah, but. Yeah, they wrote. Rodgers and Hammerstein they're big in Oklahoma. I'm serious. The musical Oklahoma was like it came right on the heels of the Dust Bowl coming out of the Depression, where the Grapes of Wrath gave Oklahoma such a negative connotation, and then here comes these singing and dancing cowboys and stuff, and everybody thought it was great, and it set records on Broadway, and so. Very, very much revered the guys who wrote Oklahoma.
Oh, bigger than Mickey Mantle, Troy Aikman, or Carrie Underwood?
Let's see. Not bigger than Mickey Mantle, bigger than Troy, and bigger than Carrie Underwood. So Mickey Mantle 1, Rodgers and Hammerstein 2 on that list.
One football thought for you, because we can't talk to you without talking college football. But I talked to one of the locals here who tracks. There's so much new in football now, right? And they're tracking all these transfers, and they were telling me that the public gets excited. You get a transfer from fill in, the name, Big Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, whoever, right? Or you get a transfer from San Jose State, North Texas, or I don't know, whatever other small school. And he said that what the numbers are telling him now that they track it, that you are more likely to have success with a player moving up a level or two than you are with a transfer from another Power 4 school. And that made me think, and it's still case by case, there are transfers from Power 4 schools who hit it big, and there are kids who move up and they can't quite cut it. But that made me think maybe Oklahoma State can be back faster than you think, because obviously getting the coach from North Texas, you're getting a big infusion of talent from North Texas, starting with the quarterback. The people should take that seriously, and I wondered if you're hearing anything like that in this run-up to Oklahoma State with a new coach in a new era.
Well, I can tell you a few things. One, Eric Morris is a very impressive guy in terms of trying to build a program, the way he goes about things, the fit, all those things seems A+. Mm-hmm. Drew Mestemaker looks like the real deal. He's a 0-star recruit. He didn't even start for his high school team in Austin, and just barely somehow finagled his way to walk on at North Texas And by the end of the year, he's throwing 400 yards in a bowl game, and then did what he did last year. Now he's at OSU. So he's the real deal. People like Bruce Feldman of The Athletic, they big on Drew Mestamaker and the Cowboys. Here's what I would say, though. Literally, how would anybody know what Oklahoma State's going to do? Literally. They got 85 new players. 85. I mean, this is like leaving St. Joseph, Missouri in 1869 on a wagon train and saying, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. You guys had no idea what you were going to do on that wagon train and what California was going to be like when you got there. It's a total unknown. It's like going into space. 85 new players. 45, I hope I hadn't thrown this at you before. Oklahoma State football personnel chart, the staff, coaches, support personnel, medical, all that. They list 45 players. 45 employees. 3 of them were here last year. These guys can't find they don't know where the Walmart is in Stillwater. And all of a sudden we've got to know whether they can compete with Brigham Young and Utah and Texas Tech and Kansas State. I have no idea. It is, to me, what we're seeing more than a projection, it is a affirmation of what a mess it was in the past. To think, and they're going to be better. I don't think they're going to go 0-9 in the Big 12 again. But to think that Oklahoma State went and got the North Texas coach and 22 players from North Texas, or 21, whatever it was, among their 85 new players, and are going to be better by basically transfusing the North Texas program to Stillwater. What an indictment of what happened in Stillwater these last 2 years.
Yeah, shocking.
Letting go of the rope. Mike Gundy was phenomenal forever, but then he just, I don't know what he was doing. And if you bring in 85 players, guess what? You lost 85 players. So, some were seniors. They probably had 10 or 12, 15, whatever. So let's say the 70 players that they've lost, 3 or 4 of those guys have landed in power conference rosters. So they didn't have any ball players. North Texas had some ball players. So OSU is going to be better. Mestamaker is a potential star. They got wide receivers, and Morris knows what he's doing. So they're going to be better. I'm hard-pressed to believe that they could compete for a Big 12 title, or even really the upper tier of the Big 12. That just doesn't seem likely to me. I really don't know anything about these guys. They had their spring game the very same day as Oklahoma. I went to Oklahoma's spring game, so I didn't even get to see them live, which I would love to have seen them. But, we're going to find out quick. They play Oregon week 2. So Oregon will be, they'll be locked and loaded. So, I would tend to put OSU in the second division of the Big 12. I think about an Indiana transformation happens about once a half a century, and we've already had ours. So we'll see, though. We'll see. How's the Cougars and the Utes looking?
Great. They are.
Hey, when people ask me surprise team of 26, who am I picking? I throw out BYU every time. I say they got a culture. They got a bunch of players back. They got their quarterback returning. They've been good.
Yeah.
They don't have 85 new players.
No.
I'm bullish on BYU.
I think you should be. They've won double-digit games the last 2 years. They've got their quarterback back. They lost Jay Hill, and the cornerbacks coach went with Kyle Whittingham to Michigan. And a lot of people are interested to see what's going to happen with that defense, because Jay Hill came in. He's just a local guy all the way. Was this
guy from Weber, right?
Yes.
From Weber State.
Yeah, he played at Utah and coached at Utah under Whittingham, and then goes to Weber, resurrected Weber. that made them a literal national power, and then goes to BYU. BYU paying 7 figures, which they normally hadn't done, to get an assistant coach there to run the defense. The defense had been awful, and it transformed. Now he's gone. I've heard some people say, oh, man, that Kalani Sitake's success, he owes a lot to Jay Hill. And there was somebody down there who was willing to let Kalani go to Penn State because he figured, well, I got Jay Hill sitting right here. Turns out it didn't work. It didn't happen that way. Some other people got involved, but that was the line of thinking. So Jay Hill is highly regarded, and Kyle scoops him up and takes him to Michigan. So we'll see how the defense is. But the recruiting is picked up. They're on a high right now, so I have no problem with you being bullish on BYU football.
Yeah, I'm actually more – Big 12 seems more predictable. It's the most unpredictable conference we've had for this decade.
Yeah, last
but
2 years.
It seems more predictable maybe than the other leagues because so many of the traditional quality programs that you figure, well, they're going to be good. Well, Oklahoma State, we know about. Iowa State's totally wiped out. Kansas State got hurt bad in the portal. Now, maybe Colin Klein's rebuilding quickly. I don't know. But Tech, BYU, and I assume the Utes, I think those are pretty dependable. So that's the way I would see the Big 12.
Yeah, you should be fine this year too.
Yeah, Cincinnati's not going to be very good, and Central Florida is just treading water, and West Virginia is still not back, and TCU, who knows? I don't know, but
TCU and ASU.
I throw both there.
You like ASU? Yeah.
Yeah, and
I'm
Arizona
quarterback. Worried about the quarterback.
Yeah, I think they got a coach who's pretty good with quarterbacks.
Yeah.
All right, Barry.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
We'll leave it right there for now, and I think you need to start
spreading the news.
Start packing your bags, start spreading the news. You're not leaving today.
I'm not leaving today. I think I'll wait till they actually get to 4 wins.
Yeah.
In this series.
Yeah, well, the series, the finals doesn't start till June 3rd, I think.
Well, check out the flights and the hotels. You can at least do that.
I've been doing that, and and I will. Next time I'm on with you guys, I'll come up with another good piece of Oklahoma culture.
Okay. We look forward to that.
Roger
Hammerstein. I got to tell you, you guys stunned me. And when you now who's Rogers and Hammerstein? Literally in Oklahoma, you don't have to. Nobody asks that question. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Richard Rogers and Oscar Hammerstein. I know their first names.
Oh, wow.
Oscar Hammerstein.
Well, now we'll do a segment on famous Oscars. So there you go.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oscar Schmidt, Brazilian sharpshooter. Oscar Mayer.
He died the other day. Did you see that?
He did, yeah.
He died just the other day. Oscar Gamble with the massive
former
afro.
Padre and Yankee. Yes, I remember him.
Yeah, and of course, Oscar Robertson's the best ever.
Yeah, the big O.
But Oscar, not Felix Unger and Oscar
Madison.
Madison. That's right, from The Odd Couple.
I got your culture right there.
Yeah. That's right. Jack. Okay, who do you like? Jack Klugman or Walter Matthau?
I'd go with Klugman.
Yeah, I'm more familiar with Klugman's portrayal there. Walter Matthau's an abbot. You say Walter Matthau, I think Bad News Bears. There he is in the dugout.
Grumpy old men.
Yeah, grumpy old men. He's good in that too.
The Odd Couple is like MASH. The TV show is better than the movie, which is very rarely the way it works.
Yep. Barry, we appreciate it as always. You're the man.
All right, see you guys.
All right, there's Barry Tramel talking a little Thunder, talking a little college football, and a little pop culture. That's why we love having Barry on. He can cover all the bases. When we come back, everything you missed in this show. We had Mike Fulton on earlier talking Stanley Cup final. And you're picking a new quarterback. Patrick Mahomes back in the news.
And there's just simply no way Rodgers and Hammerstein are better and bigger than Carrie Underwood. I draw the line right there.
DJ and PK, stay with us.
For Jazz fans, it's been a rough few years. Well, those days are behind us as the Utah Jazz finally struck gold in the NBA Draft Lottery.
Picking second.
As the Jazz prepare to draft a potential superstar with the number 2 overall pick, nobody will bring you better coverage of the NBA Draft than the KSL Sports Zone for all the breaking news, high-profile interviews, and player analysis leading right up to draft night. Keep it locked on your exclusive home of Utah Jazz basketball. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Slacker Radio headlines are brought to you by Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan Wealth today, your local trusted financial fiduciary. Call them at 1-855-TRAJAN1 or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. Talked about a lot of stuff. The game of the night, the Thunder, 127-114 winners over the San Antonio Spurs. And there were several interesting things that happened in that game, but I think the defining thing in that game was that the Oklahoma City big men really had the upper hand on Victor Wembanyama. That was an impressive performance by both Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren, who at different stretches of that game really made their presence felt. Hartenstein finishes with 12 points and 15 boards. Holmgren, 16 points and 11 boards. They both get their double-doubles. And Wembanyama, 20 points on 4 of 15 shooting. He only had 6 boards. If I told you that was his stat line before the game and didn't even tell you the other two, I bet you would have been pretty sure the Thunder were going to win.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man.
They need Big Vic.
Yeah, and
he's their ticket.
Heart and soul of the team. The other guys are okay, but
Fox was 4 of 15. He's probably not 100% as far as his health goes. Vassal's 2 of 11. I mean, there was just too many struggles out there.
This is Olajuwon and the Rockets.
Yeah.
The difference being
these guys are young and have a chance.
Olajuwon was in his prime. Mm-hmm. Big Vic is just getting started here.
Yep. So. And we'll see if some of these other guys really blossom into something special. You know, Olajuwon was surrounded by a lot of nice players, but they were nice players. There wasn't a second star until they traded for Drexler. And here, I mean, we're talking, this team's starting 20, 21, and 22-year-olds. It's amazing. They're so far ahead of the curve to be at this point.
College teams that'll have older guys.
Yes. 100%.
The way they hand out eligibility, like Halloween candy these days.
Everybody's looking for 5th and 6th-year college guys who are going to be.
They're looking for former NBA guys.
Now they are, yes. You only played in the G League? We need someone better than you.
Yeah. So their time is to come. That's why I don't judge them hardly at all, because they're barely getting started here, and he may not be good enough to put up huge numbers every single game. Not yet. And, you know, we were seeing this, and that's fine. If they lose Game 6, if I'm San Antonio, I have the attitude of, so what? This is their first crack. They didn't make the playoff last year, did they?
They did not.
Right. So this is their first time in, and they go all the way to the conference final, and they push the defending winner to minimum 6 games. I would consider that an extreme success. A young coach, too, on top of that. You got all these things going in their direction. Yeah, obviously the arrow's pointing sky high for that team.
No basketball tonight. We will have basketball tomorrow night. It'll be game 6.
No basketball tonight?
The Thunder at the Spurs.
Oh,
no, because East is done. It's over. And
East is over. Well, then put on a summer league game then.
You have hockey and baseball tonight.
No, I don't.
You have
baseball day games. It's Wednesday.
Nobody tonight? Nothing.
Well, there's some.
Hey, you got WNBA tonight if you want to watch basketball.
Who's playing? Is Caitlin Carr getting the crap beat out of her tonight?
Very well could be the case. I got to look at the slate. I just know that they're playing tonight.
They keep trying to downplay the meal ticket. I'm not sure I understand that, puppy.
I do not understand.
You do not have her tonight, sadly.
You got Rockies and Dodgers at 8 o'clock tonight for your baseball.
I have her every night.
Will Shohei be playing?
Well, yeah. How about
He's
Phillies and
scheduled to
Padres?
pitch. Got hit on the hand,
Let me
but
look.
the Phillies-Padres is a day game.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Wednesday's a lot of day games.
2 o'clock, yeah. Diamondbacks and Giants are at 1:45.
They are. I already knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got hockey tonight, Carolina and Montreal. Their winner will go play Vegas. We had Mike Folta on earlier. If you want all your hockey talk, listen to Mike Folta wherever you get your podcasts. Mike, breaking
Let me hear your hockey talk. Your hockey talk.
Thank you. Thank you, Olivia. Game 4 tonight in the East. Montreal. Carolina's up 2-1. That's
I think they'll get physical.
TNT at 6. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Let's get physical.
I don't know if Kyle was going to Detroit Red Wing games, but Kyle Whittingham was going to Mammoth games, and I talked to him about it once. He said, what do you like? He goes, the speed, the physicality. I said, it's linebackers and tight ends on skates. He goes, yeah, isn't it great? So, yes, get physical. You want to sing again? I'm waiting, just in case.
A little bit of a drive from where he's living, but it's
from Ann Arbor. Yeah, I don't know where the Red Wings arena is as far as Ann Arbor's a little outside of town in the burbs, but not far. Straight freeway shot. And I don't know if he's living in Ann Arbor or in Detroit proper.
No, he's living there.
In Ann Arbor.
I was made for loving you, baby. Kiss. You were made for loving me. Kyle, and I can't get enough of you, baby. Can you get enough of me?
And you get paid for that.
Kyle sent me a picture backstage with Kiss.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And he had all the makeup on.
That'd be awesome.
No, he didn't.
That would be awesome.
He was a Kiss guy, or is a Kiss guy.
It was a day full of blowouts in the majors. The Cubs get blown out 12-1 by Pittsburgh. They've lost 10 in a row now. How many guys do they have? How many pitchers do they have on the injured list?
14.
Is that you're just making that up?
2 or 3 are ambidextrous, so it really counts as like 17.
Okay. Get some healthy pitching. Maybe they get it together again. Yankees. Every starter had at least
Lee
2
Smith
hits.
is not walking through that door.
All right. Yankees 15-1 over the Royals. So,
Rick Sutcliffe's
they
not
have
walking
blowouts.
through that door. Ferguson Jenkins not walking through that door. What?
Give me some more Cub pitchers.
Greg Maddux not walking through that door.
Hoyt Wilhelm. Just taking a shot. He pitched for like 12 teams, so I figured he was there.
Hoyt Wilhelm.
He was a knuckleballer when I was a kid.
Hoyt
I don't even know if he was a...
Wilhelm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
You never heard of Hoyt Wilhelm?
Yeah, but he's not related to the Cubs. I'm
I
giving
know, I
you
think he was
Cubs
a Cub.
star pitchers.
I think... Well, he wasn't a star. No. He was more journeyman, bouncing around. Patrick Mahomes is back on the field. Torn ACL, torn LCL, surgery. End of the season wrecked. But he's back for the first OTA practice. He's wearing a knee brace on his knee. But we're still in May.
Where else would he wear the knee brace?
That's a good point.
Because he's on his elbow, it'd be really weird.
Yeah, it would be. That would be. Probably wouldn't fit. It'd probably be super loose.
He's wearing a neck brace around his ankle.
You remember the...
Yak, you set me up for this one. What are you laughing for, Yak? I literally read what you wrote.
Oh, so it's my fault.
It is your fault.
Could you repeat that, please? I want to make sure I understand.
He was wearing a knee brace on the knee. Right there, Yak. It's right there. You wrote that. Or you copied and pasted it.
There is a phrase that you
Copy and
do
pasted.
not like us saying, but teleprompter was in effect.
Oh, yeah, right. Best opening newscast ever. Hello, I'm Roger Cooper. Nope, you're Paulo Lopez. Sorry. That's an incorrect answer.
Well, you never know these days.
In this particular case, you definitely knew.
I was made for loving you, baby.
That was the 80s, so it wasn't these days. But in that particular case, I was really sure. I knew both Paula and Roger, and I could have passed that test, although Paula could not. The SEC is doing away with their annual Cupcake Week game. Next to last weekend of the regular. What is the Citadel going to do? Who are they going to play? Not an SEC team. 9 league games instead of 8, and they've decided that's where they'll park them.
You know, on a serious note, I wonder what this does for the teams who rely on those games for budget reasons.
They don't get as much money.
I know, but
So-
obviously not. But
Yeah.
what is the impact? Because you got they're having conference meetings now.
Mm-hmm.
I think Big 12 having them, SEC, and one of the coaches in the SEC, I forget who it was now, said,
I think it was Florida's coach, wasn't it?
I'm worried about what this is going to do to other sports, and that's been Cody Campbell's been talking about that for a good while now, and that's serious stuff. Young people not having opportunities. I mean, the world will still turn. I get it, but who in their right mind saying, "Yeah, I'm glad they dropped those sports." Nobody ever says that. I mean, whether you pay attention to that sport or not, it doesn't matter.
We just had a slew of, and some were reinstated.
Yeah, the Arkansas tennis situation, so they got back. But that's something that we're already seeing women's sports taking a hit for other reasons. And so does anybody feel good about eliminating women's sports? No. Or the non-rev men's sports for that matter? No. No, nobody wants it to come to that.
So how will this play in leagues like the Southern Conference?
I'm just wondering.
Yeah. Because now they'll probably be playing 2 money games instead of 3.
Now, from the football standpoint, it's like, okay, we know that week in November, that's a joke. Why do I do that? And if you're going to expand the playoff, then have bigger games. There'd be no excuse now for not scheduling bigger non-conference games.
They want to pile up the wins and get bowl eligible because they don't think they're getting anywhere near the playoffs.
Okay, but those aren't playoff teams then. I don't need Alabama to play Citadel.
No, you really don't.
Seems like a joke.
I do think they're more money games now. They're not as lucrative because we're seeing more teams move into the championship subdivision. I think all those teams are buying games, but those teams that are moving up, like Appalachian State moved up, they're not going to pay what Alabama's paying because they're not, you're not going into stadiums that seat 60, 80, 100,000, whatever. You're going into stadiums where, there's going to be 20, 30, or 40,000.
Right.
So there'll still be something, but there won't be as much. All right, that's what we've been talking about today. Anything else we talked about today you want to pass along? Brendan Sorsby's appeal for reinstatement denied. So now he's going to appeal the decision and also go to court. He's got 2 separate paths here trying to get that decision flipped.
My guess is he's going to go also to the supplemental draft.
That would be the next step when he's told no twice. But for Texas Tech, not as deep a quarterback. Still got a good quarterback on the roster. Got to get him and his knee healthy. But they still got a good quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think this is a devastating, ruin the season, Cam Rising type injury.
Another QB injury would be, because they had depth, they had 2, but nobody really has 3.
You got me there.
Then they're down to freshmen if they have another one, assuming he's back.
Go to NFL Europe and get one.
NFL Europe. There was a good idea that didn't quite work.
Go to the Canadian League then.
Now you're talking.
Bryson Barnes.
Bryson Barnes is up there running for touchdowns in Canada. I saw the clip. Yeah. All right, DJ PK, your feedback next. Stay with us.
Hey there, it's Wayfair here, where delivery and setup are as easy as a few taps on your phone. You're relaxing in an old hammock, scrolling Wayfair's app, when you spot it, a brand new patio set. Next thing you know, Wayfair delivers it right to your patio and sets it up. Oh, you need a new grill too? All right, Wayfair's got you covered. With Wayfair's Room of Choice delivery and fast expert setup on qualifying orders, life gets a little easier. Visit wayfair.com or the Wayfair app.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Question of the morning. We're getting tons of feedback. OKC is interested in trading the 12th and 17th picks to move up in the draft should the Jazz consider a package of players and picks. Shay, they tanked hard for one reason, to get a top talent in the draft, and they're not trading it for 2 project prospects. Well, I agree with that, Shay.
That's not what we're talking about.
I agree with that, but I think they also agree with that. And considering it, I think what they consider is they probably identify a handful of players either in the draft or around the league that they think could be generational talent. Can they flip and somehow find their way to that? As you point out, maybe using multiple deals or maybe using a third team. As far as getting a bunch of prospects and getting a 4th or 5th starter or 1 or 2 bench guys, that's not the point.
No, not at all.
It shouldn't be the point. It won't be the point. I'd be stunned. I'd be beyond stunned if they did that.
The point is the point.
The point is to get a top talent.
Yeah. And if you can acquire a top talent through utilization of this pick and somebody else who could be a rotational guy. You have to consider that. We're not talking about on its face 2 for 1 here. We'll give you our second-round pick. You give me the 12 and 17, and let's call it good.
That's a firm no. It's a firm no to that.
But I thought that would be obvious. This is not the NFL where you need depth.
You do need depth here, but this is not the piece to be using to acquire depth. And I looked up in the break, I'd looked up the trade you referenced. There are a handful of these trades where teams did trade down and make their team much better. And when you said the one Boston did, I immediately went to the Tatum one, and then I went back to the Ray Allen when they used the 5th pick to go get Ray Allen when they're getting and Kevin Garnett in those deals. And you were going back even further. They built the team around Larry Bird. They had Larry Bird coming in, but they got Parrish and McHale in the same trade. They had the number 1 pick, and they traded it to Golden State. It was the number 3 pick and Parrish, and they used the 3rd pick on McHale. So they got McHale and Parrish. Well, now you're talking.
Yeah. Those other ones you made were nice that you referenced, and they got him a title.
But you could argue
I got a decade run over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A decade run and 3 titles.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let's go.
And then in there,
5
you're losing
trips to
the
the
Lakers,
finals.
the greatest team of all time.
Yeah, so they won 3 titles. They went to the finals 5 times, and I think they went to the conference finals 8. But maybe it's not.
I remember. I didn't remember all this particulars, but I remembered something along those lines. That's what I'm talking about here.
So you've got to consider that and see if you can pull it off. And if you can't, and I think the thing that makes it easier in my mind to make the trade is if they do their homework and they find out DeBonsa's going number 1 to Washington and the Wizards' demands are exorbitant. They're just trying to pick our pocket. We're not that desperate. And if they do their homework here, and Austin Ainge said they're looking forward to getting the medical information on players, well, he's not going to say any player by name, but my gosh, isn't everyone going to be diving into Peterson's medical stuff? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. If they decide Peterson isn't the guy, then what? Are they picking Boozer or Caleb Wilson, who are slotted 3-4 in the mock drafts? Do they want them at 2? Do they want to trade down and get them and get another asset? And do they want to involve Oklahoma City? Oklahoma City, there's 3 things you can trade, right? You can trade draft picks. Oklahoma City has them both this year and in the future. You could trade young players. Sometimes you find young players buried on somebody else's bench. Oklahoma City could have that. And then sometimes they have really good players they're paying and we're paying 3 players big-time money now, and we got more people coming behind them who have to be paid. So maybe you can get an established Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, who's going to be making $40 million next year. So for the Jazz specifically, that's hard because they've already got 2 $50 million players on the roster. So there's going to be a money squeeze there. But again, back to 3-team deals, or you make that trade and you trade one of these other guys because there's some great option out there that we don't know about. It hasn't gone public, but maybe they've had conversations. They know some. You got to consider all of that. At the end of the day, I bet they pick number 2. But any of these other things could turn out to be true and could turn out to be the right decision.
Yeah, I think it'll probably be about 6:20, though. It won't be the end of the day that they'll make that.
I see what you did that. Yeah. Nice. Figuring a 6 o'clock start for the draft, a commercial break after the warm-up opening statement, the first pick.
Right.
10 minutes.
So it won't be the end of the day.
Late in the day, but at the end of the day.
Early in the evening.
Early in the evening, right. At the end of the day, you're at the end of the first round. Not in the second round because they've moved that to its own day now.
Which is fine.
Sure. Do whatever. Create another TV show. I'm fine with that. Got more people weighing in here. And Andrew, no way. R. Scott, absolutely not. Ray, no way. Lavelle, not this year.
I think they're looking at a straight deal.
Dave, you hang up when Presty calls.
No.
You got to talk. He's got too many assets. They've got so many good young players. And we're seeing that. They just rotate on the bench. They rotate in 3-4 guys. They got 2 guys out with injuries. They got 5 starters. Everybody can play. And now they're going to add multiple draft picks. They're going to have to shed some talent. Somebody's going to have a chance. I don't know what moves the Thunder are going to make, but somebody's going to have a chance to get some decent players or some very good players off that roster.
And maybe they do just take Peterson. They sign off. Everything's cool.
Yeah.
And he's ready to go.
And he could be great.
His skill is awesome.
Yeah. got to dive into all that health stuff. Yeah. All right, DJ PK, we're all done. Listen to Mike Fulton, Barry Tramel, our entire show, wherever you get your podcasts. The coach is coming up next. I'm sitting in with him for a while. Stay with us right here on The Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now it's the final days of our Everything's on Sale event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses. Our Memorial Day event ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.